the surf side. I have a handmade jewelry shop on Etsy, and I do surf and beach inspired jewelry. I'll include a link down below if you'd like to check it out. Thanks everyone for subscribing. I really appreciate everyone following my channel and leaving comments and liking the videos. It really makes me feel good about what I'm doing in terms of, you know, teaching people new techniques and a different style of beading. So we've been working on a lot of bracelet and necklace projects over the last few weeks, and I thought I would change it up a bit and do a pendant or earrings. So this is the concept that I came up with. It's got a ginko bead, which is a 2-hole bead. It has seed beads in 2 different sizes, so 11/0 and 15/0, and it also has superduo beads, which are also 2-hole beads. So this is the sample that I created recently, but we're going to be using different materials today because I thought I'd like to do a different one. So in terms of materials, what you're going to need, as always, is Fireline and .006 or 6 pound. You can also use wildfire or nylon thread, as long as it's roughly, you know, the same size. Because we're working with smaller beads, 15/0, you don't want to have anything that's going to be too thick, right? Because you're going to have to do multiple passes with the small beads, so that's something that you'll want to consider. For materials, I have the Matubo Ginko in 7.5 millimeter, and the color is chalk white luster. Okay, so that's what we're going to be using for the top part of the chandelier shape. I also have superduo beads. These are in light sapphire metallic matte. Okay, and you're going to need 6 of them. And you're also going to need Toho beads in 2 different sizes, as I mentioned. So you're going to need 11/0 and 15/0. If you decide to make a pendant, you're going to need a jump ring. And if you decide to make earrings, so you're going to double it, that means that you'll need earring hooks, right, to attach them. Okay, so I have my needle and my thread, and I'm just going to briefly go over what we're going to cover to start. So you'll notice that the ginko bead is contoured by 11/0 seed beads. So that's the first step that we're going to do. And then later we're going to focus on increasing the size at the bottom of the bead, okay, with more seed beads. And then we're going to insert the superduo beads and more superduo beads to finish it off. And then we're going to contour the base with 15/0 seed beads. Okay, so that's the sequence that we're going to be working in. I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to pick up my white ginko bead. I'm going to hold it this way, okay? I'm going to put my needle up the right side of the bead, and I'm going to leave about a 5-inch tail, okay? Pick up 3 of the 11/0 seed beads and go into the opposite hole. Okay, so that's what you should have. They should be going across the bottom of your bead. So I'm coming out the right side, and I'm going to contour the top part of the bead with 4 of the 11/0 seed beads. And I'm going to go into the opposite hole. Now I'm going to put my needle through the 3 seed beads that are sitting here at the base. Pull on my thread so that it's sitting tighter. Okay. And now I'm going to pick up 4 of the 11/0 seed beads, and I'm going to go around the outside. 1, 2, 3, 4. Insert my needle into this seed bead here. Okay, see how that joins up? So it's contouring. okay, sitting nicely. I'm going to put my needle through one more of the 11/0 seed beads. Now I'm at the top of my shape, and I'm going to pick up an 11/0 seed bead, go down 2 of the seed beads on the right hand side, and I'm going to pick up 4 more of the 11/0 seed beads, and insert my needle into the first seed bead that's at the base of the shape. Okay, so now I've finished contouring the ginko, and I'm coming out of the first seed bead. What I want to do is go all the way around the shape, okay, just to reinforce it, and then I'll show you which bead I'm going to come out of on this side. Okay, so I'll be right back. So I've gone around my shape with my needle, and I've gone through a total of 4 beads on the right hand side of my shape. Okay, so this is the bead sitting at the top, that's where the hook is going to go. And then I've gone down 1, 2, 3, 4 on the right hand side. I'm going to put my needle through another seed bead, so that would be seed bead number 5. And now I'm coming out of the bottom here. Okay, so at this point I'm going to pick up 3 of my 11/0 seed beads. Oops. And I'm going to go through the opposite side of the seed bead that I'm coming out of. Okay, so that should give you like a sort of a diamond shape. Okay, I'm going to reinforce that, so that just means that I'm going to go through all of the beads that I just added on so that it's sitting nice and tight. Okay, so that's what you should have. Now I'm going to go through 2 seed beads at the bottom of my shape. And I'm going to add another 3 of the 11/0 seed beads. Okay, go through the opposite side of the bead that you're coming out of. Pull on your thread. Okay, so that's what you should have. I would go through again just to make sure it's nice and strong. So go through all 3 beads that you just added onto that 1 seed bead at the base. Okay, again I'm going to go through 2 of the seed beads. I'm going to add another 3 seed beads. Go through the opposite side. Reinforce. Okay, pull tight on your thread. And I'm going to go through 2 more seed beads and do the exact same thing. Pick up 3. Go through the opposite side, pull on your thread, and reinforce. Okay, so what do we have? I'll flip the shape so that you can get a good look at it. So I have basically 4 seed beads on the left-hand side of my shape at the top. I have 1 seed bead sitting at the very top, another 4, and then at the bottom of my shape I have a total of 7 seed beads, and in every second one I've added 3 seed beads, and that's what we have so far. Okay. I'm coming out of the seed bead at the base of the ginko, and I'm going to turn my shape around and I'm going to go through the seed bead on the right and the top seed bead up here. Okay. So you'll notice that there's a total of 4 seed beads that are sticking out up here, and that's where I'm going to insert my needle. Okay, but first what I'm going to do is pick up a 15/0 seed bead, one of my super duos, and another 15/0 seed bead. Okay, so that's what I have on my needle, and I'm going to go through the seed bead that's sticking out at the top there. Pull on my thread. Okay, see that how that holds? I'm going to do the same thing in between each of those beads. Okay, so 15/0, a super duo, another 15/0, and I'm going to go through the next seed bead that's sticking out. That's what you should have. Okay, do it one more time. So you should have 3 of the super duos sticking out at the bottom of your shape, and right beside the super duos you should have 15/0 seed beads. Okay, so that just fills in the gaps. Now what I'm going to do is take my needle and go through the seed bead above the one that I'm coming out. I'm going to go through the seed bead sort of on the left hand side of it. Okay, and then go through the seed bead here, right below it. And I want to come out of the small 15/0 seed bead that I recently added. Okay, so that's where you should be, right over here out of the 15/0. I'm going to pick up 3 more 15/0s. And I'm going to go into the opposite hole of my super duo. Pull on my thread. Okay, so that just creates, you know, a trim on the outside of your shape. And then what I'm going to do is pick up 2 of the 11/0 seed beads. And I'm going to pick up a super duo. And I'm going to go through the bottom hole of the next super duo. Okay, I'm going to pick up another super duo and 2 of the 11/0 seed beads, and I'm going to go through the bottom hole of the third super duo in that set. Okay, so I'm coming out the right hand side of my shape. Okay, this is what it looks like so far. I need to add 3 of the 15/0 seed beads, just like we did on the left hand side. I'm going to do it on the right hand side. Okay. And I'm going to go through the 15/0 seed bead. Okay, so that's what creates the trim on the outside of the shape. Okay, now what I have to do is get down to this empty space up here. Okay, so I'm just going to put my needle through a number of beads in order to do that. So going down the right hand side of the shape. Okay, now I'm coming out of the top part of the superduo bead. I'm going to go through the bottom hole of that same bead. I'm also going to go through the top hole of the bead on the left hand side of that one. And then go through the other hole. Now I've reached the bottom of my shape, so I'm going to pick up my last superduo. And I'm going to go through the other superduo on the other side, okay? So I'm coming out of the bead on the far right, okay? I have a set of 4 superduos here at the bottom, and I'm coming out of this one right here on the right. So to do the trim, I'm going to pick up 3 of the 15/0 seed beads. Okay, those are my 3. And I'm going to go through the bottom hole of the superduo that's sitting at the bottom of my shape. Okay, that's what you should have. I'm going to pick up 3 more of the 15/0s. And I'm going to go through this hole here of the bead on the right. Okay, go through the superduos in the middle and the outside all the way across. Pull tight. I'm going to go through the 3 15/0s that I just added. And then I'm going to add 4 of the 15/0s at the very base. So that's my shape. What I have to do now is get my needle back up to the very top. Okay, so coming out of this bead here, and then I'll show you how to finish off your pendant or earrings. I'm coming out of the bead at the very top of my shape, and I'm going to finish by doing a loop. So to do the loop, I'm going to pick up a total of 7 of the 15/0 seed beads. Okay, so that's, let's see, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to go through the opposite side of this bead here at the top, pull on my thread, that's what creates the loop closure, and I'm going to reinforce it by going through all of the beads that I just added on. Okay, so that's your loop at the top, and then what you can do is go down the side of your shape. Okay, go through a few beads at a time and then do knots at various points. So go on the inside, go through the loop, make sure it's lined up to the right spot. Pull on your thread. Okay. You can do that, you know, around the outside of the ginko several times, and then when you're done, cut off your excess thread. Okay. You'll also notice that there's another thread that we started off with, right? Like we left a bit of a tail. So you're going to want to make a knot with that one as well. Okay, just going around the outside and then cutting off the excess thread. And then when you're done, you're going to take a jump ring, okay, if you're doing a pendant, and you're going to insert it into the hole, close the jump ring, and that's your pendant there, okay? So I hope that you enjoyed making this pendant or earring set with me. I find it's a beautiful chandelier shape. It's very petite and elegant, and it's just a joy to make it. So thanks so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and I always love reading your comments, so don't forget to do those things, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.